sort of the fun of that stuff is like being able to do it yourself.
I think dudes who do stuff themselves are typically the ones that stay in it for the longest.
It definitely is a do-it-yourself lifestyle, and that's the only way to learn, I think, properly. My name is Clayton Brown, age 41, and I own Pusher BMX Bike Shop for a living. Pusher came about one day while we were shooting some photos at the trails, just a little point-and-shoot camera with Kevin, Dana, and I, and we wanted to do something with the pictures once we got them developed, and we didn't quite, just want to have them laying around, so we decided to do a little zine. We were just going to do a zine, black and white, and go from there. The first issue ended up being color wraparound, black and white inside, and we ended up getting a lot of help from people in the industry. So we kind of just ran with it, and we didn't know anything about making magazines or any of that kind of stuff. So it was all new to us, but super fun. And we were able to say and do whatever we wanted, which was, kind of refreshing to people. So people dug it. And around the country, everyone started getting into it that rode BMX because it was kind of a smaller scene back then. So yeah, it just kind of snowballed from there. Companies started paying us for ads, so we just kept pumping them out, coming up with ridiculous ideas and stupid stuff to put in and fill the pages. But it was great, and it kept us, met a lot of friends that way in the industry, and it was just a blast to do Pusher that way and see it evolve into what it is now. Pusher has evolved from the magazine, hardcore, do-it-yourself, super poor, to having the same kind of thing with a bike shop. But actually the shop is doing real well. It's evolved tremendously, I think, from day one. So much help from the city, so much help from friends, industry. It's amazing to see where it's come, and I just can't believe it. Every day I go to work, and it's like amazing that this is happening, and just appreciate every day that I'm there. So I couldn't be happier with the route things have gone, and the support we've gotten. The Pusher mountain trip to me is just it's all about a good time, getting everybody together, and friends you haven't seen in a while, and just spending a week in the mountains camping and living it the way it's supposed to be. Colorado, you got all the skate parks up there, so it just makes it worthwhile. You get to ride all day and sightsee and camp at night, and no one to bother you. So it's just like a perfect combination, and it sure means a lot to me, dude, because it's a time to reflect on everything and talk about old times and see people you haven't seen in a long time, and just experience things you haven't done all year. So I don't know, mountain trip's pretty rad, and I recommend everyone coming if they can. Colorado's an incredible place. The second you cross the borders, I mean, you can kind of see it coming, unless you're coming from the east, I guess. It's pretty flat until you get to the hills, but it's obvious. We have Rocky Mountains, 14,000-foot peaks stretching across the plain. It's just amazing. I don't know, it's just home for me, and I've been a lot of places, but nothing quite like this. Claire came from Ells Watson, and we were in Hawaii at the time, and I loved it. So it's just kind of stuck, and I still love Slayer.
Flatland is often not very fun for me, and I honestly don't know why I'm out here most days.
Yeah, Flatland's
terribly frustrating. Even on a good day.
Those days when you have a session and you try something all day and you don't do it, and you go home, and I used to not let myself off the hook, but now I do. I actually go home, which I'm disappointed about. But I'll go home and think about it all day. My food doesn't taste quite as good, and I go to sleep counting jump lashes, not sheep.
Yeah, it's terribly frustrating, but it's almost always worth it. Yeah, after 30 years of riding my little BMX bike, it's absolutely worth it. I've had really low points in my life, real high points, but even if it's 30 minutes once a week or 5-6 days a week, just being on my bike, it completely makes it worth it. And then also just being with my friends. That's almost as important to me, riding with my friends, watching them ride flatland, and watching one of my buddies that I ride with after months and months get a trick or a link, and I've seen it from the inception, so it's worth it for me. Just having fun, it's absolutely worth it.
And there's tricks that kind of come and go that are easier than others, and some of them you can do a whiplash, 2 whiplashes, 3, 4, 5, whatever, one day, and then next day it's like you've never stepped on your bike. So I think everybody kind of understands that can be kind of frustrating, but it's like anything else. The more work you put into something, the more time you spend on your bike, the more fun you have, the feeling of hitting a new trick. That stuff never goes away. It doesn't matter if you've been riding, 1 month or 30 years. I think everybody's kind of charging for the same type of stuff. And that's why it's good to ride with your friends so often, because if you ride flatland, everybody knows what that feeling is like. And somebody's going to see something that you're working on, and they're psyched on it, and they know that you're into it, and you kind of push each other.
As I've gotten older, I find it more, as I've got older, I find it more necessary to ride with the community and the other riders, even if they're in the other part of the parking lot, and I just kind of know they're there. I guess I started out as more of like a Boba Fett character. Now I'm more of like a C-3PO, and I need my little Joe R2-D2.
A little fix. I look at him and said, brother, don't leave me. Don't leave me.
traveling and riding are about the best thing that you can really do. Like anytime you ever go on a road trip with anybody, I think anyone can agree that stuff happens that wouldn't normally happen in your original town where you're residing or whatever.
That counts.
Most of my hobbies are like what I do as work, which is cool. It's hard for me to like pigeonhole myself into one area because there's a lot of things I like doing. Like we have the screen printing stuff and then like photo stuff and like I like design stuff. So I just wanted to be able to like have a spot that I could like do all the things I like to do, I guess. If you rode freestyle, you kind of rode everything. People rode flatland and then they had little wedge ramps, like kick turn ramps or whatever. And then other kids would have quarter pipes. So you'd ride a little bit of everything. And even if you went to contests back then, some of them were like all-inclusive contests. Like you had to ride flatland and ramps to do okay. I like that kind of just ride everything sort of style. Like I don't like to ride just one thing. I get kind of bored. I guess I was always sort of that way, but I was always better at like flatland and that sort of stuff than I was at ramps. So I just focus more on that.
I don't know, I just like to go out and ride with the buddies and have fun with it. Had a blank shirt and started drawing on it, and then I wore that shirt around and I wore it into Starbucks downstairs, and this guy that works there thought it was really cool and said that if I made him one, he'd pay me for it. And so I ended up doing one for him, and then he gave me $60 for it, and so I kind of realized I might be onto something, and then I haven't stopped since.
signs your checks?
What business signs them?
Yeah, what corporation?
You're the Scottish Rite of motherfucking Freemasonry.
Never heard of it.
Order of the Easter Star. Did you know who's gonna motherfucking sign my check? John motherfucking McCain.
No way.
20 from each of you.
No. Oh, yeah. How about 20? Because I got a. Clearly, you can do the season. Yo, Chet, my man. Oh, cha-ching, cha-ching. Hey.
Thanks, man.
Favorite music to ride to? LL Cool J.
Oh. Hey. Tricks. Oh, not too easy, is it, Joe? Nope. No. No. That was close. No. I'm bringing back not for this one.